What's going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back for another third-party guild trip, and today we're taking a look at the master-made Diabolus Rex. I believe this is number 3 in their series. The title will accurately reflect that. Yeah, it's a super deformed Trypticon. And first, let's just say he is armed to the teeth with guns. His guns have guns on guns. I mean, 3 guns. Yeah, it's pretty insane. If you don't care for the quite as armed up look, you can kind of go ahead and take some of this stuff off and kind of get a little more traditional of a Trypticon look. Take all this off, just kind of sling these down, then you're kind of rocking a little more traditional Trypticon look and a little bit cleaner, and I like that. If I was going to have this guy displayed, I think this would be how I'd do it and just leave all this extra stuff in the box. Hopefully it pays out a little bit better in the weapons platform / city mode, but we'll get to that when we get there. Here is the little minifigure they give you this time. It is Megatron. It looks pretty nice. It's nicely articulated. It rotates at the shoulder. It has a joint that goes in and out. Not too much on there just because of how it's sculpted, but it's not terrible either. No waist articulation. Little ball jointed leg. Little knee here. A little ankle tilt down here, forward back, so it's got to be a ball joint. The elbow and the swivel. Pretty nice for a little Megatron, and he looks pretty cool. If you were collecting these guys, I definitely think that these are nice little additions. Before we go too far, here is the Metroplex, just so you can see how they scale together. This guy he just feels so superior to this Metroplex, but in the interest of a complete collection, you kind of need the Metroplex if you were going to collect these whole things. And yeah, if you're not going for the whole thing, I think that this is definitely one that is worth getting if you're a Trypticon fan. He does have the LED gimmick. You'll pop this whole thing out and put the batteries in. Not that big of a deal, just lights up red. Who cares, really? The head has its own little sets of gimmicks. If you push this fin forward, it will pop open the little gun here. That's nice. One of my favorite things, though, when you articulate the jaw, those eyebrows articulate, so kind of gets a little bit angry looking when he's roaring. I really like that. The gun in here is on a swivel, if we can get it up there, just so you can kind of pose it. So he's shooting an energy blast there. I love that little gimmick. It's just so cool. Talking articulation, the head is on... It feels like it's a ball joint, but I don't think it is. You got a ratchet here, and then you have this joint. Is it a ball joint? It kind of looks like it might be. Yeah, I think it is, but it doesn't move kind of like it. I guess it's just a ball joint that has a little bit of friction on it. This collar piece here, if you want to, you could move the whole thing. So if you had the guns attached and you wanted to kind of get a little direction out of it, you can. You certainly can do that. The shoulders here, you can see they're ball jointed. You do have some clicks on the side here for like a ratcheted swivel here, and then you do have the ball joint on the actual shoulder up here. Let's get this back in place in a way that I think looks nice. Coming to the elbow, you get a little bit of elbow movement. It's hindered by some of the stuff in the way. The arms move. The 3 fingers are individually on pivots here. No like knuckle articulation, but I think that's just fine. Obviously no waist on this guy. It comes down to some big beefy ball joints. A double jointed knee for pretty good range of motion out of that, if you ask me. I mean, it's almost straight. I don't think Trypticon really needs to have a straight leg, so that's fine. It goes all the way back like that. Pretty good. You have down to the ankle here. If we can get it to move, you have the rotation in and out, or well, forward and back, I guess. You do have a swivel here, which is a very tight ball joint down here. And also one more thing to note is that these are die-cast pieces down here on his feet. I don't think he has any other die-cast on him, just the feet, but it gives him a real nice heaviness to the bottom. And he is a pretty heavy toy, all things considered. The tail here is also on a ball joint, so you get a little up and down around there, all limited by the kibble on the toy. So to get this guy from his dyno mode to his battleship mode or his city mode is largely the same. The first step for either of them, and take off all your accessories, it just makes everything easier. Flip the head around like this, and open him just like this. And this is pretty well the basis for both modes. We do a little tiny bit of tweaking on his city mode here, but most of it is all done via the accessories. So yeah, let's go and get the battleship going. You kind of, it's hard to do this. Let me see if I can orient the camera so you can see. You're gonna flip him around, and you basically want to make like a W with his feet here, by collapsing them in like so. So bring this around here, and it's hard to do this just because you are dealing with the back and it just has this tendency to want to close. And then these, go ahead and get these closed up, and they kind of just fold up and over here. Nothing terribly fancy with this. This tail piece here can kind of clip into place so it doesn't move so much. So once we have this W thing going on, the first thing the instructions want us to do is take this piece here, and we're just going to kind of make a stand for it. So we'll plug this in just like this, and hopefully I have this the right way, and that should let it stand when we're ready. And then we'll take these like missile battery things and plug them back in, presumably give us a little more support on the actual wings here. So plug this in, and that should let us flip this over. And this is, at its core, your battleship mode. It's not terribly impressive. It looks a little bit better once you end up adding all the accessories. So we'll add the accessories as the instructions seem to tell us how. We've got this gun right here, and they want us to instead take this and put this on the side. And I believe this one plugs in right here. Same thing with this one. I like symmetrical things, so we'll post that there. You can put it back if you prefer that too. In fact, let's do that. Let's make that sit a little further back so it's at least a little more sleek. They want you to take these two things. Once again, they go in the top, and if I have them on the wrong side, oh well, just switch it. Doesn't really make too big of a deal. And then you'll take the last two guns, and they go on the sides like, whoops, like this. And there we go. This is kind of quote-unquote battleship mode. Let's see if we can pull it out here so you can see the whole thing. They also do tell us that these guns here flip up. And this is battleship mode, and it really kind of looks like shapes. But given the Fall of Cybertron, War for Cybertron type aesthetic, I can kind of see it. It's not terrible. It works probably just as much as, you know, the actual Trypticon, you know, battleshipy type mode. I like the little bridge details here. I still don't feel like the light really adds anything to this at all. So to get him to a city mode, again, we're back at the space state without anything here. We're going to disconnect the legs down here. Flip this little piece on the bottom down. That's going to give us something to stand this on. Take this piece, flip it down, and flip the toes up like this. And you should find, well, it seems like it's supposed to sit on this one, but it doesn't seem to do so. Let's just repeat that for this side, and we'll see what happens. Flip this little one back here down. Flip this down, and the toes were already flipped somehow. Just like that. And this is supposed to be the city. And it's not terribly impressive. Oh, we forgot one piece of the city. This piece folds down into a ramp, which does help change the overall look of our quote-unquote battleship mode and our city mode. So a lot of the city kind of comes together as we attach guns, and for all the guns, they want us to attach the little ones on the outside ports here. Take these guys, this little ring swivels actually, and we can take that, put it on this back one. So swivel it, put it on the back one. And then we take this gun and we attach this gun onto the top one. And then we take this gun and we attach it here. And this will plug in right here. And we'll take this again, plug it into the top one, plug this one into, which one did we do on this side? The bottom one. So we'll put it on the bottom one again. I think the instructions tell us the top. Ultimately, probably doesn't matter. You'll hook that into there. And then we take, whoops. And finally, we take this last piece right here. And I believe the peg goes back so we can get it in there. And it just kind of sits like that and finishes off the city mode. So let's just pull back here so you guys can see the complete thing. There's the city mode. And I mean, it's just as much of a city mode as the G1 Triptychon. And it's way more impressive to me than the Metroplex one. It doesn't quite feel like just Metroplex, you know, doing a split and hey, there we go, it's city mode. So yeah, I definitely think that this guy is a vast improvement over Metroplex. He's definitely a fun little toy. He looks okay with the little waterhead baby Megatron standing next to him. Overall, I don't have any complaints about this guy like I did on the Metroplex. Once again, big shout out to my friend Robert D for not only sending these to me, but reminding me by Guilt Trip over and over that I still have to review them. So this is T2RX6. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I'll see you next time.